Hey guys, we are back with some more Salt Lake City Lakers franchise mode, and in this one, we are in the playoffs in year number 4. As odd as that is, with the horrible start that we had, we started out 1-7 in the month of October, and then after that, in November, we were 6-13-3, but then after that, by the flick of a switch, we're all of a sudden much better. For whatever reason. I mean, it must have been a combination of basically everything that happened. We hired some new coaches. Igor Shesterkin managed to get much better as the season went on, and as well as some of our rookies stepping up, such as Quentin Byfield, who he had a very rough start to the season, but finished with 52 points in his first full NHL season. And as for Shane Wright, we saw his struggles early on, but he did start to turn it on towards the end there, especially once we got Evander Kane with him. So a lot of good things to like out of this team. Now let's check out what the Winnipeg Jets are looking like. They have Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Patrick Laine. And then they have Michael Furland, Jack Roslovic, and Blake Wheeler. And then Christian Vesalainen, Chandler Stevenson, and Kyle Okposo make up the third line. Luke Glendening, Nick Cousins, and Ilya Kovalchuk on the fourth line. Defensively, they have Josh Morrissey and Hampus Lindholm, Sami Niku, and Brendan Dillon. And then they have Ville Heinola and Neil Pionk on the top six. Connor Hellebuck is their goaltender, along with Alex Nedeljkovic, and scratched are Hamonic and McCabe. Ehlers is injured currently, so I wonder if we will see him or not throughout the course of the series. Hopefully not, so we can have a little bit of an advantage there. But not much, as they do, on paper anyway, have the stronger team. But then again, we made the playoffs with a team that does not have any skater above an 85. So anything could happen, and plus we finished above them in the standings. We have home ice advantage going into game number 1 here, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into our first playoff matchup in franchise history. First period, that'll be a goal for Cousins on Shesterkin. Shots are 13-6 though. We are outplaying them, but they got on the scoreboard. Second period, okay, we're tied. Hedl with the first playoff goal in franchise history, then followed up soon after by Palat. Wheeler ties it up on Shesterkin with 5:15 remaining in the second period. Good game going into the third. Shots are 25-21 in favor of the Winnipeg Jets. What will happen here in the third period? Come on, boys. Scheifele gets the goal pretty much right away on Shesterkin to open up the lead for the Winnipeg Jets, as they have a power play that they don't convert on. Come on, Salt Lake City. Give me a tie game here. Power play for Salt Lake City. They don't do anything with it, though. 5 minutes remaining. Come on, boys. 2 minutes. 1, and the empty net goal by Patrick Laine. They get the first win of the series. No problem. It's not like it's a one-game elimination. We still have a chance here. Laine, Hellebuck, and Scheifele, the 3 stars of the game. Going into game number 2 now. So for a better fortune. Obviously, that game was pretty close, but would have liked the win there. For the first playoff win in franchise history. First period, nothing doing. I will take it. Shots are 8-7, relatively even game so far. Second period, nothing doing still. Wow. Shots are 20-16 now in favor of the Winnipeg Jets, but nothing doing in the goal scoring department. Third period. Come on now, Salt Lake City. Kovalchuk on Shesterkin, and then Kasha on Hellebuck. Let's go. Tie game. Come on now. Power play for Winnipeg. Good kill. Power play for Salt Lake City. It's a long one. Come on now, boys. Oh, man, that must have been at least a double minor. 4 minutes remaining. Power play for Winnipeg. Late in the third period, we are headed to overtime. So, same overtime rules apply as per usual. We are only going to do overtimes in games 5, 6, and 7 for the live action. So, for this game, we will be going into the simulation overtime. Here we go. Power play for Salt Lake City. Nothing doing. Shots are pretty much in favor of the Winnipeg Jets right now. Halfway through, and we have a goal from Mark Scheifele on Shesterkin to make it a 2-1 win for the Winnipeg Jets, and a 2-0 series lead for them as well. 3 stars of the game, Scheifele, Hellebuck, and Igor Shesterkin. So after 2 games, we are, of course, down 2-0. We lost that first game 4-2. Remember, there was an empty net goal there, and then we lost in overtime 2-1. So both games so far have been very close. We gotta get this win right here. Otherwise, we're not gonna give ourselves too good of a chance. Here we go, first period. All right, nothing doing. We are massively outshooting them, 16-6 after 1 here in game number 3 in Winnipeg. Second period. Oh boy, at least there's some consistency in this series. Most of the time whenever we're in the playoffs, yeah, in any GM mode, of course, not in this GM mode because this is the first time we're in the playoffs, but generally the playoffs are kind of all over the place, but this seems to be very tightly contested. So here we go. Third period time. Score is 0-0. Shots are pretty much even. Come on, Salt Lake City. Get something going here. Power play. Power play, nothing doing. Halfway through the third now. Still nothing doing for either team. Power play for Winnipeg. 5 minutes remaining. 3, 2, 1. Another overtime, but this time scoreless. Whew. Wow. So we are still not at game number 5, 6, or 7, so that means simulation overtime. Come on now. 5-on-4 power play for Salt Lake City. Nothing doing. Oh, man. I don't like this. Power play. 5-on-3 power play. Come on. You don't like to see it. That was a critical opportunity in the game, and it may cost us, as we are now done with the first overtime, and we are headed to overtime number 2, and it is now underway. It's going to happen quickly here. Who's going to get it? And it will be Winnipeg with the second overtime goal. Blake Wheeler on Shesterkin for the 3-0 series lead. But you know what? Once again, each game has been very, very close so far, so I can't blame Shesterkin at all. If anything, I'm blaming it on our offense, but, you know, it's been super close for our first playoff series. Much closer than I expected it to be. 3 stars of the game: Wheeler, Shesterkin, and Hellebuck, because who else? So since we're down 3-0, I suppose there's no harm in changing up the lines just to see if we could get something going. Obviously, we've been really good defensively, but we kind of need to score some goals here as well in order to win some games. So I think, you know what? We'll get Fleury back with Dundas, since that's a +3 there. So maybe, just maybe, 288 overalls with that line chemistry of being at +3 will give us a bit more of an advantage. Well, not an advantage, but I would say a boost. And at forward, let's give that first line a little bit of a boost. So far, only Kasha is the only one on that first line who's produced a point. So you know what we'll do? We'll get a couple of the kids up there. We'll get right onto the first line with Kasha, and then we'll get Hedel there as well. So then it'll be Byfield, Burakovsky, and Kapanen. And then Palat, Faxa, and Kane. And then Simmons, Bennett, and Tanev. That looks good. Let's switch up the power play a little bit as well. We're going to get Hedel in the middle there instead of Faxa. And then Faxa will be on the wing with Byfield and Kasha. So there you go. Those are the only changes that I can really think to make. Whatever happens with this team happens. It's already been a successful year, but I would really like to try to avoid the sweep here. So here we go. Let's take it one game at a time. Going into game number 4, first period. And that will be a 1-0 lead for us. Kasha on Hellebuck. Second period. All right, we still have the lead. Hedel on Hellebuck, but then Line on Shesterkin. All right, here we go. Third period time. We are out shooting them 23-17. And we're also leading on the scoreboard. 2-1. Come on, boys. Power play for Winnipeg. They're starting to tie the shots up a little bit. 7 minutes remaining. Oh boy, Kasha on Hellebuck. Let's go. 2-goal lead now. I think that's the first time we've had that in this series, and of course it's not held for long as Vesalainen gets a goal, but Dundas with the empty netter for his first playoff goal, and we get our first playoff win as a franchise. Let's go. 3 stars of the game: Dundas, Hedel with 3 points, and Kasha with 3 points as well. So there you go. We got our first playoff win under our belts. Let's try to get another one. After all, just take it one game at a time here. First period of game number 5, and we have a 2-1 lead. Simmons and Benning for us on Hellebuck, and then Glendenning on Shesterkin. Shots are 11-6 in favor of your Salt Lake City Lakers heading into the second period. And second period time, all right, we're still in the lead. They got it back tied on a goal by Morrissey, but late in the period, Kapanen gets a goal on Hellebuck to give us the 3-2 lead. Come on now, boys. Huge third period. Power play, nothing doing. That's fine. Come on now. Give me one more at least, Salt Lake City, please. Come on, halfway through the period, and Scheifele on Shesterkin. Knew it was coming eventually. And there you go, Faxa on Hellebuck. Okay, we're fighting back. Each time they get a goal, then we get a goal. Come on now. Hold it. And we do indeed hold the 4-3 lead. And we are now at a 3-2 series. So we're making it interesting here in our first playoff series ever. 3 stars of the game, Dundas, Simmons, and Faxa. Here we go, game number 6. If we win this, anything can happen in a game number 7. Let's go, boys. First period, and that'll be a 2-1 lead for Winnipeg. Vesalainen and Wheeler first on Shesterkin, but then Peyton Dundas with his second goal of the series. Dundas has been hot as of late, and he scores on Hellebuck midway through the first period. Shots are 13-7 in favor of Winnipeg, but we may have the momentum as we got the last goal. Second period, nothing doing. All right. Shots are 27-18, and there doesn't appear to be any momentum for anybody right now, as not really much is going on in terms of actual goal scoring, but at least it's a close game. So, come on, boys. Give it your best effort here in the third period. Just play like you've been playing for the past couple of games, and really, we should give ourselves a pretty good chance if we do that. Here we go. And there you go, Quinton Byfield, his first goal in the playoffs of his career. Let's go. Power play, nothing doing. All right, that's fine. Come on, boys. Calm it down now. Halfway through the third period. And Evander Kane, let's go! Right on front of the net. And we have a 3-2 lead in the game. Are we going to 7? Are we going to 7? Oh, line A. In the final minute. Good thing to know that my jinx curse is still here. So, here we go. Overtime against the Winnipeg Jets. Coming at you. Here we go, boys. First live action overtime period of the GM mode. Here we go. Fleury has the puck now. Gets it to Dundas. He feeds it for Kasha. Kasha in the middle. And Wheeler gets to Scheifele. Scheifele with the dangles through the legs into the zone. Scheifele tries to feed Wheeler, but Wright takes it from Kasha. As Kasha gets it back from him. And the shot by Dundas! Dundas sends us to a game 7. Let's go. The guy has been clutch this series. Oh my. That was a filthy slap shot from the point. Can we take a look at that again? Let's see this. The pass from Kasha, right back, and he just fires that. That wasn't exactly the best angle. Let's see. Can we see that from another angle? And he just winds up, and come on, give me a better camera angle here. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Let's go into instant replay and take a look at that, because that was an absolute howitzer, and the game did not show us a good camera angle of it. So Kasha from the corner, he just backhands one, and Dundas rips it, and it goes in clean past Connor Hellebuck. Pfft, that had eyes. That puck had eyes. I mean, it went through. Who did it go through over here? That went through Wright, I think, and Morrissey. See? Yep. Phenomenal goal by Peyton Dundas. We are off to game 7. Oh my goodness. It does not get any better than this. We were down 3-0 after 3 games. And look at that. Peyton Dundas leads our team with 6 points in 6 games. What a guy. Here we go. Game number 7. Oh my. Here we go. First period. That'll be a 1-0 lead for Winnipeg. Furtland on Shesterkin. Second period. Okay, we're tied. Let's go. Wheeler on Shesterkin makes it 2-0. But Cheadle and Kasha get it tied later in the second period. Shots are 24-23, pretty much even, if slightly in favor of the Winnipeg Jets, but we have momentum on our side. Come on, boys. get this win. This would be huge. This would be so clutch if we could win this series in a comeback fashion, especially in our first playoffs ever. Oh, that would be tremendous. Come on, boys. Power play for Winnipeg, and Blake Wheeler scores on it on Shesterkin. 5 minutes remaining. Come on, Salt Lake City. Get it done. Please. Well, it was a good series. We fought back. We fought back to a hard-fought Game 7. But unfortunately, Winnipeg was just a slightly better team and definitely a lot more experienced. Furland, Hellebuck, and Wheeler with the 2-goal performance as the 3 stars of the game. So there we go. That was a very good playoff run, if I do say so myself, for the first playoffs, especially going down 3-0 in the first half of the series and then coming back and bringing it to a Game 7 and a competitive Game 7 nonetheless. That was very impressive for this team, especially the way we started the season being 6-13-3 in the first 2 months, and then we just sailed seemingly right to second place in the Central Division. We got home ice advantage in the playoffs. This year was fantastic for us, and definitely a huge stepping stone. And as we take a look at the stats here, Kasha with 7 points in 7 games played, Hedel and Dundas with 6 points in 7 games played. Dundas was amazing, especially after we moved him onto that line with Hayden Fleury. Andre Palat with 4 points. Benning, Kane, Burakovsky, all with 3 points. Faxa and Simmons and Kapanen and Byfield and Wright, all with 2 points. Manson and Fleury with 1 point each. And then Montour, Bennett, Murphy, and Tanev all with nothing. That is fine. It was a good series. And Shesterkin with a .928 save percentage. So I wouldn't say, you can't blame any of this series on Shesterkin. You really can't. Pretty much every game was close. As a matter of fact, I think not just pretty much, I think every single game of that series was very, very close as we take a look back. Game number 1, that was a 4-2 loss, but remember, that 4th goal was an empty netter, so it was really just a 1-goal game for pretty much the entire game, and then a 1-goal overtime game there in a loss in game number 2. So once again, very close game. Another overtime loss in a 1-goal game, and then we had our first win, 4-2, then 4-3 win, 4-3 overtime win. Each and every single game, including game number 7, where we got the 3-2 loss, was very close. So huge stepping stones for this team this year. But of course, that means next year we have to keep improving, not take a couple of steps back, because at this point we can only get better. Our young guys such as Shane Wright, Peyton Dundas, Quentin Byfield, there's no reason that we should be worse next year. So next year the goal should be not only playoffs, but advance past round number 1, because this team has clearly shown that it's capable. So this year was definitely the start of something very good for your Salt Lake City Lakers. But that being said, our postseason has come to a close, so that'll be it for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we start the Year 4 offseason.